Should the Heat trade for Lauri Markkanen, and do the Miami Heat have interest in free agent Edmond Sumner? All that and more on today's show. So let's get right into it. Let's talk Lauri Markkanen because Bleacher Report actually suggested that the Miami Heat trade for the first-time All-Star in their most recent, most realistic trade for every team in the NBA. So I had to break this down because I found it pretty fascinating for you. And in that trade idea, it's pretty simple. The Heat receive forward Lauri Markkanen, and the Jazz received the 18th selection in the NBA draft this past season. Jaime Jaquez Jr., Duncan Robinson, and then 2 first-round picks in 2024 and 2028. This is a pretty interesting trade. I'll give my thoughts on it in a second, but I actually do love the fit for the Miami Heat. When you think, I feel like I've brought this up a couple times when talking about the Heat roster, but us as Heat fans have always talked about getting the stretch forward, the big man, next to Bam Adebayo, and Lauri Markkanen could be that long-term solution if the Heat went out and traded for the Finland Hooper. But let's see what Bleacher Report had to say on a potential Heat Markkanen trade. They started off by saying Miami would no doubt prefer an off-the-dribble advantage creator, Damian Lillard, but Markkanen is a home run acquisition. He can fill the front court spot next to Bam Adebayo or absorb minutes at the 3. Yeah, believe it or not, he did play the 3 position when he was in Cleveland a couple years ago. But they went on to say, and his offense is a unique hybrid of 1 part self-sustaining, 2 parts play finishing around his surroundings. 3 firsts is a huge price to pay, but Markkanen's worth it. The Heat are also getting to keep Tyler Hero and getting out of Duncan Robinson's deal that has 3 years, $57.5 million left, which doesn't look so bad this side of the 2023 playoffs, but it also miles from asset territory. First of all, we're going to talk more in depth on Lauri Markkanen coming up in a second. I'll break down his advanced shooting, what he's done in the last 4 seasons, and how I think he would fit with Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler. But first, I have to ask you guys this. Would you do this trade? Type T for trade, type P for pass. It is today's pinned comment. So if you do get hit with that YouTube ad break, let it play, scroll down in the comment section, and answer today's pinned comment. Let's look at what Lauri Markkanen has done over the past 4 seasons, because I think he's been one of the best improvers in the NBA. You think about 4 years ago when he was on the Chicago Bulls, he was putting up decent numbers. He was a top 10 pick in that 2017 NBA draft that featured Lonzo Ball, Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo. And he really never got to that top 10 status that people expected him to get to, but he was able to just be a contributor everywhere he went. 14 points per game, 13, 14 with the Bulls and Cavs. And like I said, he did play a lot of power forward and small forward, that 3-4 hybrid role for Cleveland 2 years ago, which was very intriguing because this dude's a 6'10", 6'11 guy who can play center as well. So the fact that he was playing the 3 was intriguing. But then he was traded to the Utah Jazz in that Donovan Mitchell deal, and he just absolutely exploded this past season. 25.5 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, 50% from the field, and 39% from beyond the arc. Absolute terrific season for Lauri Markkanen, and he showed his flowers when he was a first-time All-Star in Utah this past season. He has done nothing but improve every year, worked on his craft, and one thing, as you see, he can do consistently is shoot that 3 ball. But let's look at Lauri Markkanen from a more advanced shooting lens, right? And inside 8 feet, Lauri Markkanen is actually shooting 62.6% last season. Now let's look at his catch and shoot 3-point percentage, 40.7. That is very ideal for your Miami Heat because when you're playing next to a Jimmy and Bam duo that aren't too keen on shooting the 3 ball, you're going to need 3-point shooters surrounding them, and Lauri Markkanen can do that. And let's look at it more specifically, that he has a hot spot in that left corner, shot 55.7% from 3 in that left corner. If he gets in that left corner, he is straight cash money homie. But let's look at what a Heat roster with Lauri Markkanen could potentially look like. like the quote mentioned from Bleacher Report, you get to keep Tyler Hero. And I know that could be very enticing for a lot of Miami Heat basketball fans because he's only 23 himself, averaged 20 points per game over the last 2 seasons. And a lot of people in the Heat organization and Heat fans would like to keep him. So you keep Lauri and Hero in that backcourt. You got Jimmy and Bam, that your dynamic duo, and then you slide Markkanen in at that power forward position next to Adebayo, creating arguably the best front court in the association. You also are going to have Caleb Martin, Nikola Jovic, Josh Richardson on the bench alongside Thomas Bryant, Haywood Highsmith, Kevin Love, and Orlando Robinson. And this team is very, very solid. It has a good mix of everything. You've got the veteran point guard. You've got the young shot creator, spark plug that can go for 25, 30 on a nightly basis in Tyler Hero. You have the two-way slashing wing in Jimmy Butler. You have the defensive player of the year, the big man of Bam Adebayo, and then you have a power forward that can ISO, can catch and shoot, score around the basket in Lauri Markkanen with a solid bench. The only thing that you would really have to add to this Heat team to make it complete is more shooting off the bench because there really isn't a lot of particular three-point specialist for that team, but this team could absolutely do damage in the postseason. So let's look back at this Heat trade, right? Heat are sending Jaime Jaquez and Duncan Robinson plus 2024 and 2028 first-round picks. Heat are getting Lauri Markkanen. I don't know how I feel about it. I do like the fit of Lauri Markkanen, but sending 3 total first-round picks is a lot. But I am not going to do this trade, and there's one reason why. And you might ask yourself, I just laid out a lot of good reasons to add Lauri Markkanen, how he would look with this Heat roster. But why aren't I doing this trade? I'll tell you why. It's because this man right here. And there is no one else I am going to trade for if it's not Damian Lillard. Dame is going to come to the 305. It might take a little bit, but it's a matter of when, not if. Dame is going to be playing in the Kaseya Center this upcoming year, and I am not entertaining any other trade ideas until this is absolutely resolved, whether it be no way he's coming to Miami. I give a 1% chance of that happening, but he is going to be, so I'm not entertaining any other trade unless it's for Damian Lillard. Next, the Heat are interested in Edmond Sumner, an interesting free agent target that this news was kind of leaked out this past morning, and I don't know how I feel about it, right? Like Edmond Sumner, it's not a big name, doesn't really have a lot of success inside the NBA thus far, so is it worth it? I'll explore that coming up, but first, we have to get to 5,000 subscribers, right? We are so close to this massive milestone, and I need your help to get there. We have 4,700 subscribers right now. We need 298 to get to that 5K mark if we get there by the end of this weekend. So I come into work Monday morning and we're at 5,000 subscribers. I'll be doing a beer shot fun on that video. We've done this deal in the past for 4,000 subscribers. I wanted to bring it back for 5,000. Next, should the Heat sign Edmond Sumner? Michael Scotto of HoopsHype kind of floated out the idea that the Heat were interested in signing the veteran guard. I mean, he's a veteran, but he hasn't done much in the NBA. This is what Scotto had to say. He said former Brooklyn Nets guard Edmond Sumner has drawn exploratory interest from the Hornets, Bucks, Raptors, Heat, and Suns since becoming a free agent. And if you look at what Edmond Sumner has done over the past 4 seasons, you aren't going to be impressed from the Xavier graduate, right? Like 4 years ago, averaged 4.9 points per game, 43% from the field, horrific three-point shooting, 26.4, with 1.7 three-point attempts per night. The following year for the Pacers, he improved his game, 52% from the field. Now he's shooting 40% from 3 on the same amount of attempts. And then, unfortunately, he did tear his Achilles and missed all of 2021 and 22. But this past season went back into the association to play for the Brooklyn Nets, scored 7 a night. Efficiency took a dip, but after not playing for basically a full year, I understand why he wouldn't be fully ready to play in the league. But I will say this, I don't really see the fit for the Miami Heat. I did mention if the Lauri Markkanen trade went through and that was your Heat roster, you need to add a three-point shooter. I don't know if Sumner is that guy, and even if the Heat trade for Damian Lillard, they're going to also have to add a three-point shooter, and I don't think Sumner is that guy. There's other free agents that I would rather go after, and one of those guys is Christian Wood. He's just that guy who, if you get Damian Lillard, can be that sixth man off the bench and play that sixth-man spark plug scoring role as someone who can put up 20 points per game. We've seen that in the past. Another free agent I'd rather have is Kelly Oubre Jr. Concerns about him being able to play in a winning culture, but he is very talented at scoring the rock, and like I said, the Heat could absolutely use that. Another interesting name is TJ Warren, someone who can play that spot-up three-point shooter off the bench role that I just said the Heat absolutely needed. Let's move it along here with Terrence Ross. Heat killer, if you might say. When Terrence Ross was with the Orlando Magic, he was absolutely terrorizing the Miami Heat. Maybe he can help the Heat win a championship as a three-point shooter off the bench. Another Heat killer, Bryn Forbes, is someone that is deep cut, probably washed, but could be intriguing for the Miami Heat to add to their roster. He obviously had that massive playoff series in 2021, where the Bucks swept the Heat in the first round, and Bryn Forbes outscored Jimmy Butler and shot like 1,000% from three. It felt like he never missed, but maybe he could bring that playoff scoring to the Heat roster this upcoming year. I kind of just named 5 free agents I'd rather have over Edmond Sumner, but obviously the Heat are interested in Sumner, and they're looking to get some very cheap players in free agency to add to this roster, whether they get Damian Lillard or not. But I want you guys to let me know a free agent you want to sign in the comment section. There's not too many good ones out there. Let's call a spade a spade. There's not too many good out there, so let me know who you'd want to sign. That's going to do it for today's show. If you want more Heat analysis, memes, interaction, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Nick_Roloff. I'm talking Miami Heat basketball almost every single day. So if you want some more Heat news, analysis, even some memes, make sure you go over and give me a follow.